Have you ever noticed how sometimes, like, when your mind is just wandering, just drifting off in thought, that's when some of your most interesting ideas pop up?
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
It's like those moments where we think we're not really focused. Those can actually be signs of, like, a really active mind.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we're going to dive into today.
We're going to kind of flip the script on how we usually think about intelligence.
Right, going way beyond just IQ tests.
Forget the numbers.
Exactly.
We're going to look at some really interesting psychological insights.
Yeah, because you found this great article.
7 signs you have a superior mind, according to psychology.
I love that title.
So good.
It's provocative.
It's very clickbaity, but you know what? It's based on some solid research.
Yes, it is.
And it really gets you thinking about, like, all the different ways that intelligence can show up.
Right, because we tend to have these very narrow definitions of what it means to be intelligent.
Totally.
Yeah.
We think about, logic or math skills.
Right, book smarts.
But this article suggests that it's so much broader than that.
Like way broader.
It could be things like, intense curiosity.
Or paying attention to the smallest details.
Even having a really unique sense of humor.
Things that we might not typically associate with intelligence.
Yeah, like we might even see those as kind of quirky or different.
Right, exactly.
But they could actually be signs of a really sharp mind.
Absolutely, and that's what we're going to unpack today.
So let's start with curiosity.
Okay.
The article really emphasizes this idea of, like, an insatiable curiosity.
That just like burning desire to learn and to know more.
Yeah, and to explore new experiences. Like, it's just this constant drive.
Always asking questions.
Always seeking out new information.
And it makes sense that this would be linked to a superior mind, right?
Because you're not content with just, like, the surface level.
Right, you're always digging deeper.
You want to understand the why behind everything.
Exactly. And I think a great example of this is Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The article mentions him, and it's so true.
Like the ultimate Renaissance man.
Right. He was interested in everything.
Everything. From how birds fly, to the human body, to art and engineering.
Like his curiosity knew no bounds.
It's like his mind was just constantly making connections between different fields.
And that's what led to his incredible innovations.
He was so ahead of his time.
Totally. And, it's not just historical figures. Like, we see this in modern times, too.
Oh, absolutely.
The article talks about Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah. Another great example.
He's got his hands in so many different things.
Electric cars, space travel, artificial intelligence.
It's like he's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
And it's not just dabbling.
No, he's going deep in all these areas.
He's a master of so many different domains.
Which I think speaks to that just incredible curiosity driving him to learn and explore.
And to actually apply that knowledge.
Right. It's not just about knowing things.
It's about using that knowledge to make a real impact on the world.
Absolutely. So curiosity, a major sign of a superior mind.
Okay, so next up we have attention to detail.
This is another fascinating one.
This is about noticing the little things that most people miss.
Those subtle details that can reveal so much.
And the article says that this ability to observe and process those details is really crucial for identifying patterns.
And making connections that others just wouldn't see.
Yeah, it's like you're seeing the world in high definition.
Right, you're picking up on all those nuances.
And that allows you to have a much deeper understanding of things.
It's like a superpower.
It is kind of like a superpower.
And of course, we have to talk about Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, the master of deduction.
Right, even though he's a fictional character.
Of course.
He embodies this trait perfectly.
He notices everything.
Mm-hmm.
A footprint, a scuff, mark a tiny thread.
And from those seemingly insignificant details, he can solve the entire mystery.
It's amazing.
And while we may not all be Sherlock Holmes,
Right.
this skill is incredibly valuable in the real world, too.
Yep.
The article mentions Steve Jobs as a prime example.
Oh, yeah. Talk about attention to detail.
He was obsessed with every single aspect of Apple's products.
From the design to the materials to the user interface.
Everything had to be perfect.
And that focus on the smallest details is a big part of why Apple became so successful.
Right, because it created this incredible user experience.
It's like they thought of everything.
And it's not just in tech.
No.
You see this in art, in science, in any field where precision and a keen eye are essential.
So attention to detail, another key indicator of a superior mind.
It's not just about being observant.
It's about using those observations to understand the bigger picture.
Exactly. Now let's move on to something a little more unexpected.
Okay.
Humor.
Humor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that as a sign of intelligence.
I know, right? But the article makes a really compelling case.
So what's the connection?
Well, it turns out that a sophisticated sense of humor,
Like not just slapstick comedy.
right, more nuanced humor, often requires a lot of cognitive processing.
Oh, I see.
You have to be able to make connections, understand irony and wordplay.
Yeah, and see things from multiple perspectives.
Exactly. So it suggests that your brain is quick and flexible and good at abstract thinking.
So like a really clever joke?
Right, one that makes you think.
Not just laugh.
It's a sign that you're able to grasp complex concepts.
And appreciate that kind of subtle humor.
And the article gives some great examples.
Like who?
Well, they mention Oscar Wilde.
Oh, yeah, the king of wit.
Right. His humor was legendary, and it wasn't just about being funny.
There was always like a deeper meaning behind it.
Social commentary, intellectual insights.
It made you think.
And laugh at the same time.
Which is a pretty impressive feat.
Definitely. And they also talk about John Cleese and Monty Python.
Oh, yeah, I love Monty Python.
Their humor is so absurd and often relies on these kind of intellectual references.
It's not always easy to get.
No. You definitely have to engage your brain to fully appreciate it.
But when you do, it's hilarious.
Absolutely.
So yeah, maybe a quirky sense of humor.
One that not everyone gets.
Could actually be a sign of a superior mind.
It's all about those connections.
Okay, let's move on to another trait that might seem a bit counterintuitive.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
An appreciation for solitude.
Really?
Yeah, you'd think that smart people would be like super social.
Right. Always surrounded by people.
But the article suggests that enjoying alone time can actually be a sign of high intelligence.
Interesting. Why is that?
Well, because solitude gives you the space for deep thinking.
Makes sense.
You can focus without distractions.
No interruptions.
And that allows you to really delve into complex problems and come up with creative solutions.
So it's about creating that mental space you need to really concentrate.
Exactly.
And I think a perfect example of this is Albert Einstein.
Oh, yeah. He was famous for his solitary walks and thought experiments.
Right. He would spend hours alone just thinking.
And that's how he came up with some of his groundbreaking theories.
Theories that revolutionized our understanding of the universe.
Pretty amazing.
And the article also mentions J.K. Rowling.
Oh, yeah, the creator of Harry Potter.
And she's talked about how the idea for the series came to her during a solitary train journey.
Wow, that's so cool.
It shows how those moments of quiet contemplation can be so fertile for creativity.
It's like when you disconnect from the outside world.
That's when your inner world can really flourish.
So yeah, maybe being a bit of a loner isn't such a bad thing after all.
Especially if it leads to brilliant ideas.
Okay, now, for a trait, that might seem like the opposite of focused thinking.
Okay, what is it?
Mind wandering.
Mind wandering. You mean like zoning out?
Yeah, exactly.
But isn't that a sign of distraction?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
The article says that a wandering mind could actually be a sign of a really active intellect.
Really? How so?
Well, it suggests that people with superior cognitive abilities often have minds that are just constantly exploring different ideas.
Like even when they're not trying to.
Right. It's like their brains are always making connections even in the background.
So it's not about a lack of focus.
It's more like an abundance of mental activity.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, and the article mentions Nikola Tesla as an example.
Oh, wow, the inventor.
Yeah, he had this incredible ability to visualize his inventions in his mind with amazing detail.
Like he could see them before he even built them.
Right, he would spend hours just mentally working through designs and testing them out.
That's incredible.
And the article also talks about Virginia Woolf and her stream of consciousness writing style.
Right, where it's like you're inside the character's head.
Yeah, experiencing their thoughts and feelings as they happen.
Which definitely suggests a very active and imaginative mind.
So, yeah, maybe mind wandering isn't always a bad thing.
It could be a sign that your brain is just working on a deeper level.
Okay, now let's talk about a trait that's a bit more straightforwardly beneficial.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Rapid adaptability.
Adaptability.
Being able to adjust to new situations quickly and solve unexpected problems.
Yeah, that's a valuable skill in today's world. Things are changing so fast.
You have to be able to think on your feet.
And the article says that this kind of cognitive flexibility is a key marker of a superior mind.
Because it means you can learn new things quickly.
And apply your knowledge in different contexts.
And not be afraid to change your approach when things aren't working.
Exactly.
And they use Charles Darwin as an example.
Oh, Darwin, the father of evolution.
Yeah, and think about how he developed his theory.
He was constantly making new discoveries during his travels.
And he had to adapt his thinking to incorporate all this new information.
He was willing to revise his ideas as he learned more.
Which is pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yeah, Not everyone can do that.
And the article also talks about Jeff Bezos and the evolution of Amazon.
Oh, yeah. From a small online bookstore to like a global giant.
And they've gone through so many transformations.
E-commerce, cloud computing, streaming services.
It's incredible.
And that takes a leader who can anticipate change and adapt quickly.
Someone who's not afraid to take risks and try new things.
Exactly.
So yeah, adaptability.
A must-have for any superior mind.
Okay, and finally, let's talk about constant questioning.
Questioning.
Yeah.
But we kind of already touched on that with curiosity.
True, but this is a little different.
Okay, how so?
This is about not just being curious, but actually challenging the status quo.
Like questioning the assumptions that everyone else just accepts.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
It's about digging deeper and not being satisfied with surface-level explanations.
So it's like taking curiosity to the next level.
Yeah, and the article uses Socrates as an example.
Oh, Socrates the philosopher.
Yeah, the one who's famous for his method of asking questions to get people to think critically.
Oh, yeah, the Socratic method.
Exactly.
Which is still used in education today.
Because it's such a powerful tool for learning and understanding.
And they also mention Richard Feynman.
The physicist.
Yeah, he was known for his ability to break down complex ideas by just asking why. Over and over again.
It's like he wouldn't let anything go until he truly understood it.
And that led to some amazing insights.
So yeah, constantly questioning things can be a sign of a truly sharp mind.
It's about that drive to get to the bottom of things.
So we've explored these 7 signs.
Curiosity, attention to detail, humor, solitude, mind-wandering adaptability, and questioning.
And it's important to remember that these traits often work together.
Right, they're not mutually exclusive.
You might have a few of them, or maybe all of them.
And they kind of reinforce each other.
Yeah, and the article gives a great example with Marie Curie.
Oh yeah, the groundbreaking scientist.
And she was incredibly curious.
And had amazing attention to detail.
And she valued her solitude.
And was able to adapt to the challenges of being a woman in a male-dominated field.
And she constantly questioned everything.
All of which contributed to her incredible discoveries.
So yeah, it's amazing to see how these traits can come together to create such brilliance.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive today...
I feel like my mind is expanding.
Me too.
So many things to think about.
I hope this has given everyone listening a new way to think about intelligence.
Because it's so much more than just a number on a test.
It's about all these different ways of thinking and experiencing the world.
And maybe even some of your quirks or habits.
The things that make you unique.
Could actually be signs of your own superior mind.
So embrace your curiosity, your attention to detail, your sense of humor.
Your love of solitude, your mind wandering, your adaptability.
And never stop questioning.
Because that's how we learn and grow and make a real difference in the world.
And who knows, maybe you'll even discover your own hidden genius along the way.
I love that.
That's a great note to end on.
Thanks for diving deep with me today.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.